Okay, the time is now 6 o'clock, and we have an interview before the Ways and Means Committee. The chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, Dave Cormier. With us this evening is Brandon Robbins, he's the clerk, and Councilor Pauline Cormier is the third member. So, welcome, Elizabeth. I know I've met you before. As you know, I'm also on the Disability Commission, so I've met you. I've attended some of our meetings, and we just want to ask you a few questions. And first, we want you to talk a little bit about yourself and why you want to be on the Disability Commission.
Sure. So my name is Elizabeth Meservey. I have lived in Leominster almost exactly a year. We closed on our house. Just moved up from the Worcester area. I'm work in HR, although I'm currently looking for work, along with many other people I know. But and
Or not close enough, maybe. Oh, no, it's not on now.
there, that's much better. Yeah. I have twin girls who are almost 22, so kind of getting ready to start on their own chapter. Interested in joining the Disability Commission because I'm interested in getting more involved in the community. My husband is disabled. My daughter has a severe mental health condition, so while she's not physically disabled, she does, struggle with not physically at all, but just with being out in the community, and I'm just made me more aware of the needs for people like her and like my husband. Again, you looking at my husband, you wouldn't think he was disabled, but he has some pretty serious breathing issues. So it just felt like a nice way for me to give back to something that really is important to me.
Thank you. I've always said, after serving on the Disability Commission for a number of years now, our commission, we have bylaws, and one of the articles in our bylaws is that there's an elected official that's on the commission. So the mayor had asked me years ago if I wanted to be the elected official and serve on the commission.
Right.
And I've always said that we have a diverse commission of people that come from many different backgrounds and have a lot of experience in their own lives with disabilities. And it's one of those things when somebody suffers from a disability, people don't understand it until you live it. So you bring that experience to the commission, which is good, because there are things that you think about every day that the average person just takes for granted and doesn't think about. And that kind of, real life experience is very helpful, and I'm sure will add a lot to our commission. So I look forward, to your confirmation tonight, and I'll ask other members of the committee. Councilor Robbins, do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions. I just want to say thank you for your willingness to serve. I know, we all lead busy lives, and being willing to step up and volunteer your time in this capacity with, lived experience, I think is really important. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Councilor Cormier?
I'm just going to say the same thing. Thank you for your willingness to step up and to volunteer. That's what makes the city work. And we'll look forward to your confirmation a little later in the meeting.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the council have any comments or questions for Ms. Meservey? Councilor Frieda?
No question, just a comment as well. I think it's even more commendable when you have somebody that has a disability, that you could take a completely different road and have a chip on your shoulder about it, and instead you're taking the time to help someone else with possibly the same disability.
Right.
So,
thank you.
As the chair said, it's important to have the diversity on that committee.
Right.
So
Right.
thank you.
You're very, very welcome.
Councilor Noseworthy?
Thank you. Again, I don't have any questions either. I just wanted to thank you for stepping up, as others have said. I myself am I'm a veteran with a disability, and I'm the mother of a young autistic adult. So I think it's great that you talked about your lived experience, because we all know that disabilities are visible and invisible, and just appreciate, like everyone has said, you stepping up with your lived experience and really giving back to the community. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Yeah, the lived experience part of people, right? People don't, if they haven't had that or have someone in their life, They don't get it.
No, thank you for that.
And not really to any fault of their own.
No,
They just,
no, they just don't
yeah.
know the experience. Yes, thank you.
Anybody else on the council have any comments or questions? Seeing none, thank you very much, Elizabeth. Probably going to be at least another hour before we can take this up and vote on it, so you're welcome to stay, or the city clerk can inform you tomorrow that you can come and get sworn in
Okay.
after you're confirmed. Okay?
Perfect. Thank you so much, all of you.
Thank you very much for your
Thank you
time.
so much.
And we'll probably
Thank
see you
you.
tomorrow night.
Yes, you
All
will.
right.
Good night.
I'm going to read the notice of the whole. This notice of the City Council Committee of the Whole meeting is posted in the event that a quorum of the City Councilors is present at this standing committee meeting. If less than a quorum of the City Council is present, no committee of the whole meeting shall take place. If a quorum is present, any such meeting shall be restricted to the standing committee agenda items listed above. That's the case this evening. We have 3 agenda items, starting with C41. Dean J. Mazzarella, Mayor, requests an appropriation of $8,000 be made to the Twin City Rail Trail Grade account, same amount to be transferred from the Twin City Rail Trail lease account. So what this is about is the lease account is there are various parties occupying the rail trail, and they're paying rent to do that. And that money goes into this rail trail lease account. The comptroller suggested or informed me that that particular account is a receipts reserved for appropriation account, can't spend out of it. So what they're doing is they're transferring the money from that account to the rail trail grade account, which they can spend out of, so that they can pay for some landscaping this summer. So that's what that's all about. Did you have any questions, Council Arndinger?
No questions at all.
Does any other member of the council have any questions about that? All right, we'll move on to C42. C42, Jean J. Mazzarella, Mayor. And I take it, Council Arndinger, you're in favor of it before I move on to C42?
Yes.
Okay, as I am as well. Moving on to C42, Dean J. Mazzarella, Mayor, requests an appropriation of $250,000 be made to the Police Department overtime account, same amount to be transferred from stabilization fund. This is as a result of a request from the chief to supplement his personnel budget. We've done this pretty frequently in the past, and it's always a result of overtime, injured duty, military duty, et cetera. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's all about staffing and what they can do within the established budget. I certainly don't have a problem with it. Council Arndinger, any questions or concerns?
No questions, I agree.
You agree with it? Any other council have any question? All right, so that'll be recommended by a unanimous vote of 2-0 to the full council later on this evening. And C43, Dean J. Mazzarella, Mayor, requests the appropriation of $15,000 be made to the Wire Department overtime account, same to be transferred from the stabilization fund. Again, there's a deficit in the personnel budget for the Wire Department account, the overtime account, partly driven by a pipe burst we had back, I think, about a month ago in the server room here, which required the Wire Department to be here the entire weekend to protect the equipment, as well as I think they had to fix some of it. So, Council Arndinger, I'm going to be in favor of it. Yourself?
I agree.
Okay. Any other councilors have any questions? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a second? All in favor? So Finance Subcommittee meeting is adjourned.
All right, good evening, everyone. It is now 6:30. My name is Carrie Noseworthy, and I'm Chair of the Public Service Committee. This is a public hearing for petition 27-26. Massachusetts Electric Company, doing business as National Grid and Verizon New England, Inc., requests permission to locate poles, wires, and fixtures, including the necessary sustaining and protecting fixtures, along and across the following public way. Pleasant Street, National Grid to install one jointly owned pole on Pleasant Street, beginning at a point approximately 10 feet east of the center line of the intersection of Lisa Drive and continuing approximately 10 feet in an easterly direction. National Grid is installing a push brace on pole 70 in order to remove an existing tree guy. Location approximately is shown on plan attached. Wherefore it prays that after due notice and hearing as provided by law, it be granted a location for and permission to erect and maintain poles and wires, together with such sustaining and protecting fixtures as it may find necessary, said poles to be erected substantially in accordance with plan filed herewith marked Pleasant Street, Leominster, Massachusetts, number 311-99528, October 23rd, 2025. Also for permission to lay and maintain underground laterals, cables, and wires in the above or intersecting public ways for the purpose of making connections with such poles and buildings as each of said petitioners may desire for districting purposes. This came through the City Council regular course, initially on December 8th of 2025. We had our first public hearing on January 12th at 6:40 p.m., and then the public hearing was continued to this evening at 6:30 p.m. Do we have Charlie here from National Grid this evening?
I'm here instead of Charlie.
Oh, okay. No worries at all. Could you, do you want to come up and give us the update on?
Yes.
Sure, thank you.
Why don't you sit at the table so that if anybody needs to come to the podium, it'll be open.
Thank you, Madam President. So were you able, and I'm sorry, if you could state your name for the record again?
Yeah, my name is Matthew.
Right.
MacDonald, 939 Southwood Street, Worcester. So, we were able to meet with the residents and to hear their concerns. We also met with the construction department,
Okay.
and the designer is currently reviewing options. He's waiting to hear back from one of the residents regarding.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, but they're saying they can't hear. Can you see if your microphone is on?
Can you hear me okay?
I think that's better.
Right.
Yes, thank you so much. Go
Matthew
ahead.
MacDonald, 939 Worcester, 939 Southwood Street, Worcester. So we were able to meet with the residents. I did attend the meeting with the other designer
Yes.
who did design the job. We couldn't come to a conclusion at the time, so he's currently waiting to hear back from one of the abutters before we proceed on how we're going to move on with the job. So the update is we're still working on that, and we'd just like to continue that probably another month, if that's okay, so we can continue to just have more time to hear back from because we haven't heard back from the resident that we're waiting to discuss the pole placement.
Okay, I'm going to actually see first if there's anyone in the audience that also wants to
Okay.
to share anything, if that's all right. Excuse me, is there anyone in the audience that wants to speak for or against the petition this evening? For a second time, is there anyone in the audience who wants to speak for or against this petition this evening? And for a third and final time, is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak for or against this petition this evening? Okay, so at this point, you were saying did you get in touch with at least once that one abutter, or you haven't been able to speak with them at all?
Yes, we did meet with both abutters.
Okay,
Neither of them wanted to allow, neither of them wanted a pole, a push brace or a pole. So we met with the construction department separately,
sure.
and they gave us some things to think about, or not me, the designer who has the job. And I spoke to him this morning. He said he still has not heard back from one of the residents to see if we can, because she wanted to go with another option
Sure.
instead of putting the push pole in front of 544 Pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know if that's going to work without speaking with that abutter across the street. So we're just waiting on that confirmation.
Okay, so I guess at this point, we're probably going to move forward for further time. I'm just trying to think through. A month seems like a long period of time.
I also, Madam Chair.
Yes.
At what point, does this petition become substantially different enough that it's not the
Correct.
petition that National Grid submitted originally for a push brace? It specifically mentions that in the petition. If we choose to give this petition leave to withdraw, that doesn't preclude National Grid from continuing to have those conversations. They would just need to resubmit it. And I don't know that the council is going to want to give it further time for a month. That doesn't stop the work from happening behind the scenes,
Sure.
just my take.
No, I really appreciate your input, Counselor at Large. And to the Counselor at Large's point, we've already given this further time, and if they do want to push for a design that's so different and varies from the petition, it does make sense that we might want to do leave to withdraw. Go ahead.
I just wanted to comment. So the reason that we're having this meeting with the residents is to discuss alternatives. There really are just two main, what was presented, to have the push brace and then have the pole across the street.
Sure.
Neither resident wanted it, so we meet with both of them. And with the storm, given the weather that we've had.
Sure, I
It's just been a
understand.
little bit of delays. So if possible, I would, only because I don't want to have it for the next meeting and have us not have another update or not have something substantial, if that makes sense.
Sure, and I understand that. It's just, it does seem like an awful long time, for these changes in a poll. I mean, do you think that the design would be that different from what is within, the petition that you put forward that, for them to be in agreement with? Or do you think it would be similar?
It really depends on what the opposite neighbor across the street wants.
Sure.
Or again, because we're trying to work with them. We also are trying to consider reliability, because the tree that's currently supporting this pole, if that were to come down, it's a main, like a main circuit that has a lot of customers on it. So we're trying to move forward, considering the abutters, and also not only the abutters, but all the residents that our utility lines serve as well.
Sure, I appreciate that. The more that I'm hearing you speak, though, I'm more inclined to think that the at-large counselor's idea seems more viable, because it does seem like it might take a little time. If we get another storm and things get pushed out, I don't know if we're going to, be able to get to an answer in another 2 weeks or so. So at this point, for now, like I said, I think at this point I'll be closing the public hearing, but I'll probably be moving forward to ask the city council to give the petition leave to withdraw. That way you're not feeling rushed, and you can work with the abutters and the individuals, and you can come forward with a design plan that works for everyone, and do so in a timely manner. Okay, thank you so much.
This place is looking like a dump.
Good evening. We are now going to hold a public forum. Public forum is an opportunity for any member of the audience to speak on any matter specifically listed on the council agenda. Speakers will be asked to come to the microphone, state their formal name and address, along with identifying the specific item they wish to address. Each speaker is respectfully asked to keep their comments within a 2-minute time frame. The council will not be responding or answering any questions. However, at the discretion of the council president, clarification may be given. The first person that is signed up is Peter Haggis.
Peter Haggis, 333 Elm Street. I'm here to speak on item 3026, and I'm happy to say that I'm thrilled that the city is considering the adoption of municipal aggregation, and furthermore, I'm encouraged that the mayor sent down his support and a communication to this body as well. There are 245 communities that have already adopted municipal aggregation, which is 70% of the 351 in our state. 49 have municipal light, so they can't adopt it because they already have a better solution, which means that we're in the 16% that currently doesn't have any sort of answer to rising energy costs. I want to address some of the misinformation that I've heard repeated by some of the councilors in past meetings. For communities that have this program, you can opt out at any time. It's a simple form. You can look at Gardner or Fitchburg nearby. It's one form. It knocks you out in the next billing cycle. If the city did adopt municipal aggregation, you can opt out ahead of time and never be enrolled in it. If you're in a third-party contract with another organization that does this for individuals, you are not knocked out of it. It doesn't nullify your contract. You can also opt out and then get one of those contracts if you want to seek elsewhere. One of the nice things about municipal aggregation is some of these third-party companies that do it are predatory, and by doing it citywide, it helps protect folks from having to navigate those those waters. According to the Department of Energy Resources, which is the state organization that oversees this, in their most recent figures, communities that have adopted it, residents see a savings of about $580 annually off their electric bill, and businesses see $2,200 annually off their electric bill. That doesn't include what the cities and towns themselves also save, because the city would also benefit from the reduced rates on their electricity. In essence, this is an objectively good thing, and I hope that all of you will do what's best best by your constituents in moving this matter forward. Thank you.
I'm just trying to figure out if I should wait a second because we have to open the meeting at 7. Good evening. The regular meeting of the Leominster City Council, February 9th, 2026, in town session. Please rise and salute to our country.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will now take a roll call of councilors in attendance. Councilor David Cormier,
Present?
Vice President Pauline Cormier,
Present.
Councilor Frank Odinger,
Present.
Councilor Kerry Noseworthy,
Present.
Councilor Eladia Romero,
Present.
Councilor Brandon Robbins,
Present.
Councilor Mark Bedanza,
Present.
and I will be recorded as present. Do we have any minutes?
We do, Madam President. I have reviewed the minutes from the January 29th, 2026 meeting. I find them to be in good order, and if there's no objection from any members of the council, I would ask that they be placed on file.
Anybody have any questions or comments? If not, thank you, Madam Vice President. With that, do I have a motion to recess?
Motion to recess.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, the council is now in recess. The second person sign up on, for public forum is Irene and Paul Butler.
Good evening. My name is Irene Butler. I'm a resident on Brown Avenue. I actually just wanted some clarification. I saw that the mayor wanted to appoint, again, John Souza for the planning committee. Is that correct? And how does that work? Do you vote on
Let me
that?
clarify that, because it seems I'm sure everybody got as many emails as I did today, and there's a lot of confusion with that. The vote is not going to be tonight. You know, the way the process works is it's the first time on the agenda tonight. In 2 weeks, there will be a vote of the council. The mayor sends down the appointment, and the city council is the confirmation authority to that appointment. We are not being asked to appoint him as the chair of the planning commission. We are being asked to put him on the planning board. The body itself, the planning board, makes their own decision as to who the chair and the vice chair is. So does that help you at all?
Okay, so that person would still, if you voted to appoint him, he would remain on the planning board, is that correct?
The mayor has appointed him,
So he's,
sent the name to us,
Okay.
and we will vote whether to confirm him or not
Okay.
at the next meeting.
all right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. That's all that I have signed. Mr. Butler, are you all set? That's all that I have signed up. Is there anyone else in the audience that wishes to address the council on anything on the agenda? Mr. Ciccone.
Taking water. I'm taking the water, because my voice is a little hoarse. I've been outside all day. My name is Sal Ciccone. For the record, Salvatore Ciccone, 25 West Street, Leominster, Mass. Leominster Planning Board, going into my 39th year. I'm here, Madam President, honorable members of the City Council. You know, if I'm here, that it's got to be important. And it is important. We're talking about the integrity of someone who's been involved in some of the best things that have ever happened to this city. I'm here to talk in favor of John's reappointment. And I'm hoping to get you to reappoint him. People forget all that we've been through. You know, John's been with me over 35 years. We were involved in Shoreland Farms. We were involved in the campus for the hospital, regional hospital. We were involved in Walmart. We were involved in the most major developments this city has ever seen. And tenure, we're an honorable board too. We are an honorable board, as you are honorable city council, we're an honorable board. and we have high integrity, and there's been a lot of misinformation going around about us for a while. This job is difficult. With tenure comes experience. With experience comes the knowledge, and with the knowledge comes the wisdom to do the things that we have to do. We're a board of permitted uses. We have to follow the laws and the ordinances in this city and state. And that's what we have to do. We don't have a lot of leeway. We try to do things the best we can, and I think we've done some wonderful things over the course of the years. And I think it would be a big mistake if you didn't reappoint John for this new appointment. It hasn't been anybody's fault that the paperwork didn't get to you, as some people will attest. You know, there's been paperwork issues coming down here, and it wasn't in front of you guys for a long time. You know what? We're a non-politicized group. We don't care about what's going on in the political spectrum of this city. We do what's right for this city, and we do what's right according to our own ordinances and state law. That's who we are. And we're of the highest integrity, and John is of the highest integrity. So without getting your vote, if you guys don't vote him back in, he has been involved as a public servant of this city for more than almost all of you. He's been involved, and he's been a dedicated public servant. You won't find a person more dedicated, so he should be reappointed to this board, and that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Mr. Stone. Is there anyone else in the audience that wishes to address the council on anything on the agenda? Again, is there anyone else that wishes to address the council? I'm sorry. Is there anyone else that wishes to address the council on anything on the agenda? For the final time, is there anyone else that wishes to address the council on anything on our agenda? If not, I declare the public hearing closed. Okay, we will start with communications from the mayor, C-44.
Team J. Mazzarella, Mayor, requests that the City Council vote to approve Suzanne Kohler and Sandra Cucchiara to the membership of the School Building Committee for Fallbrook Elementary School.
C-44 will be referred to the Ways and Means Committee.
First time on the calendar, regular course.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. C-45.
Dean J. Mazzarella, Mayor, request the appointment of the following Planning Board, term to expire 4/15/2031, John J. Souza, 347 Prospect Street, Leominster.
Again, the recommendation will be referred to Ways and Means Chair.
First time on the calendar, regular course. And I am going to ask that we have an interview. Madam Clerk, if you can reach out and set one up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 33-26.
Jenny's Helping Hand Incorporated requests to renew a license to deal secondhand articles at 52 Mechanic Street, Leominster, Mass.
33-26 is referred to the Chair of Ways and Means.
Once again, first time on the calendar, regular course.
33-26 have been given regular course. 34-26.
George's Fine Jewelers, doing business as House of Relics, request to renew license to deal secondhand articles at 1292 Main Street, Leominster, Mass.
34-26 is referred to the Chair of Ways and Means.
Regular course.
34-26 has been given regular course. 35-26.
George's Fine Jewelers Incorporated, request to renew license to deal secondhand articles at 255 North Street, Leominster, Mass.
35-26 is referred to the Chair of Ways and Means.
Once again, regular course.
35-26 has been given regular course. And just a minute for the audience, all that we just did, when we say regular course, that's the first time on the agenda, and it's referred to the proper committee on the council. And there's 2 weeks for the public that is listening to us to get back to us if they have any concerns on anything that we just talked about. Then when we get to matters from the, before the council, those are generally things that were before us 2 weeks ago. And the committee chairs have, with their committees, have looked at what's important on the item, and we'll report that tonight. Just so there's, just to give a little background on what we do. Matters before the council. Financial report, Mr. Chair of the Finance Committee.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll start with the Capital Stabilization Fund. We began the fiscal year with $4,593,192. During the course of the fiscal year, we added interest of $4,373. We made one capital request, which I believe was a payment on the police station of $2,261,190, with a resulting balance currently of $2,336,374. Turning to the Opioid Stabilization Fund, we began the fiscal year with $577,546. We added interest of $913. We also made an appropriation out the state made a payment in of $159,226 for a resulting balance of $737,686. During the course of the fiscal year, thus far, we've benefited various agencies helping with opioid issues, a total of $249,371, with a resulting balance of $488,315. And finally, on our stabilization account, we began the fiscal year with a balance of $24,323,829. We added interest of $298,525 for a balance of $24,622,354. We've spent, including two matters that are on our calendar this evening, police overtime and wire overtime, those total $265,000. Assuming those are passed this evening, our total spending for the fiscal year will be $2,991,902. That will result in a balance of $21,630,452. Had a discussion with the comptroller today. I'm happy to report that our free cash has been certified, and free cash was certified at the amount of $13,089,104. City is just beginning the budget season in terms of getting ready to interview various department heads for capital requests and such, and keeping a close eye also on the state budget. And Madam President, that is the financial report for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick question. Do we have any updates on the opioid fund? Do we have any more deposits coming in?
I don't know that. I could find out for the next meeting and see if there's anything more in the pipeline.
Okay.
As well as whether there's any planned expenditures as well.
Okay, just for the newer counselors, I don't know if you're familiar with the opioid account. This is money that goes back to all the cities and towns from a settlement with the government regarding coming from Walgreens, CVS, Big Pharma. There's a number, and I think there's just been a new settlement, so I know there should be more at some point coming to us as well. So I think that over the course of 5 years, that we'll be getting that money. So thank you for that report.
You're welcome, Madam President.
All right, go on to your report.
Yeah, I'm ready to report on C41. C41, Dean J. Mazzarella, Mayor, requested that appropriation of $8,000 be made to the Twin City Rail Trail grade account. The same amount be transferred from the Twin City Rail Trail lease account. We had a subcommittee meeting earlier this evening wherein the Finance Subcommittee voted unanimously 2-0 to recommend to the full council the granting of C41. The Rail Trail lease account is money that is receives lease payments from various abutters to the rail trail that are actually occupying a portion of the rail trail and are paying for that occupation with a lease payment. That is an account, the comptroller indicates to me that is receipts reserved for appropriation, meaning they cannot spend money from the lease account itself. So the money's got to get transferred to the other rail trail account, which is called the rail trail grade account, so they can spend money for things like landscaping, which is what they are going to do with this $8,000. And again, the Finance Subcommittee voted unanimously to grant C-41. And is there any further discussion?
Any other councilors have any questions? If not, the recommendation from the Finance Committee is to grant C-41. If there are no other questions or comments, all those in favor signify in the usual manner. By a vote of 8-0, C-41 is accepted. Does the chairman have an order?
I do order that the sum of $8,000 be appropriated to the rail trail grade account, the same amount to be transferred from the city rail trail, Twin Cities Rail Trail lease account. Move for the adoption of the order.
Okay, you've heard the chairman's recommendation for the order. This will be a roll call vote. Councilor Cormier?
Yay.
Vice President Cormier?
Yay.
Councilor Iden?
Yay.
Councilor Noseworthy?
Yay.
Councilor Romero?
Yay.
Councilor Robbins?
Yay.
Councilor Bedanza?
Yay.
And I will be recorded as yay. By a vote of 8-0, the order has been adopted. C-42.
C-42, Dean J. Mazzarella, Mayor, requests an appropriation of $250,000 be made to the Police Department overtime account, saying to be transferred from the stabilization fund. Again, earlier this evening, we had a Finance Subcommittee meeting where the committee voted unanimously to recommend to the full council granting of C-42. We have a letter from the police chief dated the 21st of January to the mayor, asking for these additional funds for overtime. The overtime budget was depleted relative to investigations, shift overtime, contractual obligations for time off. And this is nothing we're unfamiliar with. We run on a pretty tight overtime budget. So as I indicated, it is the Finance Subcommittee's recommendation to grant C-42.
Okay, you've heard the chairman's recommendation. Any questions or comments? If not, all those in favor signify in the usual manner. Those opposed? The chairman have an order.
Yes, order that the sum of $250,000 be appropriated to the police department overtime account, same amount to be transferred from the stabilization fund. Move for the adoption of the order.
Okay, you've heard the chairman's recommendation. Any questions or comments? If not, this will be a roll call vote. Councilor Cormier?
Yay.
Vice President Cormier?
Yay.
Councilor Iden?
Yay.
Councilor Noseworthy?
Yay.
Councilor Romero?
Yay.
Councilor Robbins?
Yay.
Councilor Bedanza?
Yay.
And it will be recorded as yay. By a vote to 8-1, the order is adopted. C-43.
Moving on to C-43, Dean J. Mazzarella, Mayor, requests an appropriation of $15,000 be made to the Wire Department overtime account, the same amount to be transferred from the stabilization fund. Again, we did have a Finance Subcommittee meeting earlier this evening, wherein the subcommittee voted unanimously to recommend to the full council granting C-43. C-43 began with a letter from the chief of the fire department, Robert Sidlow, requesting this money for the overtime account. The account needs to have additional funds to further operations of the wire department. Some of this at least was resulted from a pipe that burst in our server room here at City Hall that required the wire department to spend the weekend here protecting equipment and making sure that the equipment was in proper order. Again, recommendation of the Finance Subcommittee unanimously is to grant C-43.
Okay, you've heard the chairman's recommendation. Any questions or comments? If not, all those in favor signify in the usual manner. Those opposed? By a vote of 8-0, C-43 is approved. Does the chairman have an order?
I do. Order that the sum of $15,000 be appropriated to the wire department overtime account, the same amount to be transferred from the stabilization fund. Move for the adoption of the order.
Okay, you've heard the chair's recommendation. Any questions or comments? If not, this will be a roll call vote. Councilor Cormier?
Yay?
Vice President Cormier?
Yay.
Councilor Odinger?
Yay.
Councilor Noseworthy?
Yay.
Councilor Romero?
Yay.
Councilor Robbins?
Yay.
Councilor Bedanza?
Yay.
And I will be recorded as yea. By a vote to 8-0, the order is adopted. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam President.
Now we'll move on to Ways and Means, to the chair, C-39.
Thank you, Madam President. C-39, Dean J. Mazzarella, Mayor, requests that the City Council vote to remove Bill Charpentier and Peter Angelini from the School Building Committee for Fallbrook Elementary School and approve Arthur Ebthal to the membership of the School Building Committee for Fallbrook Elementary School. As we know, Mr. Angelini passed away, and Mr. Charpentier, I believe, retired this past January, so the mayor's asking we do some housekeeping and clear their names off of the committee, and it would be my recommendation that we grant C-39. I'll ask that you check with Councilor Robbins and Vice President Cormier.
I agree.
I agree.
Okay, we have a unanimous decision of the committee.
Yes, so the recommendation is to grant C-39.
Okay, you've heard the recommendation of the chair, Ways and Means, unanimous decision, C-39. Any other questions or comments? If not, all those in favor signify in the usual manner. Those opposed? By a vote of 8-0, the recommendation is granted. C-40.
C-40, Dean J. Mazzarella, Mayor, requests that the appointment of the following to the Disability Commission, term to expire 4/15 of 2029. Elizabeth Meservey. We had an interview this evening. Ms. Meservey has been to a couple of our Disability Commission meetings already. I find her to be an asset to this commission, and it'd be my recommendation after the interview that we grant her make her confirmation. I'll ask that you check with Councilor Robbins and Vice President Cormier.
I agree.
I agree as well.
Okay, so you have a unanimous recommendation of your committee.
The recommendation is to grant C-40.
Okay, are there any questions or comments? If not, this will be a roll call vote. Councilor Cormier?
Yay?
Vice President Cormier?
Yay.
Councilor Odinger?
Yay.
Councilor Noseworthy?
Yay.
Councilor Romero?
Yay.
Councilor Robbins?
Yay.
Councilor Bedanza?
Yay.
That will be recorded as yay. By a vote of 8-0, Ms. Meservey is confirmed. Moving on to legal affairs.
Thank you, Madam President. This is 3-26, Glenn Eaton, Executive Director, Montechusett Regional Planning Commission. Request to amend the zoning ordinance to replace Article 15, accessory apartments, with a new Article 15 that complies with recently passed state law and make other changes to implement the new ordinance. Madam President, as we know, because of the storm and then there was some scheduling issues as to posting the meeting, we've had to reschedule this, and I'm looking to reschedule this to our next meeting, February 23rd at 6:30 p.m.
Okay, so your recommendation?
The recommendation is to continue the public hearing, give it further time, and to schedule it on February 23rd, 2026 at 6:30 p.m.
Okay. So we need to vote on the, well, we already voted on the 23rd of the last meeting, right?
We did.
So just further time?
Just the further time to the
Okay.
next date.
Heard the recommendation of Legal Affairs Committee on further time. Any other questions or comments? If not, all those in favor signify in the usual manner. Those opposed? Okay. Vote further time to 3:26.
Thank you, Madam President. 25-26, Attorney Jeffrey Avini, Dabrowski, Avini, and Bunnell. PC request to amend Section 22-17 as to the underlying zoning districts table of uses for the City of Leominster zoning ordinance as amended and under the business uses table of uses in the multi-use MU1 underlying zoning districts, and change the use so designated as self-storage from N not allowed to special permit planning board SPPB, planning board special permit required pursuant to the City of Leominster zoning ordinance Self-storage is characterized as a business use, but is only allowed in the industrial zoning district. Again, similar situation as to the last matter, because of the winter storm and some scheduling issues. This was going to be, and I believe we already voted at the last meeting to give this further time to February 23rd, 2026 at 6:35 PM. So that would be my recommendation, and I'd ask you to check with other members of the committee.
Okay, Counselor Romero,
I agree.
Counselor Cormier.
I agree.
Okay, unanimous decision in the committee.
Yes.
Thanks.
Madam President.
Further time, any other questions or comments? If not, all those in favor signify in the usual manner. Those opposed? 25-26 has been given further time.
Thank you, Madam President. 30-26, Brandon Robbins and Susan Shalafo Zephyr, Councilors at Large, request that the mayor authorize the appropriate departments to research, develop, and participate in a contract or contracts to aggregate the electricity load of the residents and businesses in the city and for other related services independently or in joint action with other municipalities, and authorize the mayor to execute all documents necessary to accomplish the same. This matter was was given further time to tonight's date. It's going to be my recommendation, Madam President, that one of the petitioners is not here this evening. I believe in all fairness to that counselor who is one of the petitioners, that this be given further time and we kick it over to our next meeting as well. I would ask you to check with members of my committee.
Counselor Romero,
I agree.
Counselor Cormier.
I also agree, and on both fronts, from Ways and Means and Legal Affairs, and Councilor Robbins as well, I think is on.
I agree.
All right, so you've heard a unanimous recommendation from both committees. Any questions or comments? If not, all those in favor signify in the usual manner. Those opposed? For the time, by a vote of 8-0.
Madam President, I don't have it on my agenda. I don't know if we had already previously voted on a date and time.
For this?
Yes.
Is it just
Okay.
requiring that we do it?
Okay.
Okay.
Madam, oh, sorry. I was just going to say, 27-26, I will be abstaining.
Okay.
Did we take a vote on that? Did we vote on 30-26 yet?
Yes. we
Oh,
had-
okay. All right, I'll be abstaining from the next one.
Thank you, Madam President. On petition 27-26, shall I read the petition, or do you want
Yes.
to waive? Okay. 27-26, Massachusetts Electric Company doing business as National Grid and Verizon New England, Inc. Requests permission to locate poles, wires, and fixtures, including the necessary sustaining and protecting fixtures, along and across the following public way. Pleasant Street, National Grid to install one jointly owned pole on Pleasant Street, beginning at a point approximately 10 feet east of the center line of the intersection of Lisa Drive and continuing approximately 10 feet in an easterly direction. National Grid is installing a push brace on pole 70 in order to remove an existing tree guy. Location approximately as shown on plan attached. Wherefore it prays that after due notice and hearing as provided by law, it be granted a location for and permission to erect and maintain poles and wires together with such sustaining and protecting fixtures as it may find necessary. Said poles to be erected substantially in accordance with plan filed herewith marked Pleasant Street, Leominster, Massachusetts, number 311-99528, October 23rd, 2025. Also, for permission to lay and maintain underground laterals, cables, and wires in the above or intersecting ways for the purpose of making connections with such poles and buildings as each of said petitioners may desire for districting purposes. Excuse me. We had a subcommittee meeting earlier this evening, and initially what we had agreed upon was a unanimous course of action where if we did not have anyone coming forward during public hearing, we would move forward to recommend the adoption of petition 27-26 and if we did, that we would move for further time. When National Grid came and spoke with City Council, there was some discussion with the Councilor at Large Robbins, the third member, of possibly asking or granting petition to withdraw. As I am newer to this position, I am sort of thinking, since that discussion was had, that because the petition was filed on October 23rd of 2025, I'm a little ambivalent about whether or not to ask for, give them one last, further time, because otherwise we would have to go through the entire process all over again. No one did show up for, to say anything against the petition, but during public hearing. So I don't know if we want to, what Councilor at Large Robbins has to say, or how to move forward. My apologies, but.
Councilor Robbins.
Sorry.
I feel like I shouldn't be the one to make the decision because I'm not the chair. With that said, I am amenable to either course of action. I just feel that I don't know that we want to kick it around for a month, but that is up to you.
It is a politically correct answer.
Yes.
I'm trying not to step on the Ward 5 councilor's toes as the chair.
Appreciate it.
If I was the chair, I gave you my opinion earlier.
Correct, thank you.
I do think, I'm sorry, Councilor
Yeah.
Coleman.
No, that's okay. My thought process was, rather than giving them leave to withdraw and restarting this all over again, we already have, National Grid is there. They've met with the neighbors. This is more of I think the amendments that they're making is just to accommodate the neighbors and coming with a petition that's going to be approved, that's acceptable to all the neighbors. So rather than give them leave to withdraw, have them refile again and go through the whole process again, they're there, they're working on it, they're working with the neighbors. I would rather see us give them further time and let them accomplish this rather than just start it all over again.
Please.
Councilor Bonanza was first.
Councilor Bonanza.
Yeah, it is my ward, so there are constituents involved, but I tend to agree with Councilor Pauline Cormier, because we don't know what the solution is, so it may not be substantially different from what they've proposed. I don't imagine it is going to be substantially different, and to make them start over again is just going to cause more administrative difficulty for all of us, them, us, National Grid. So I think we should just further time the thing. That would be my opinion, at least.
Thank you, Ward
Councilor
Councilor.
Iveyne.
I agree with the other two counselors, and in my recollection, we've had other situations like this where they had to go back to the abutters and stuff like this and make changes, and we've never given it leave to withdraw. We've always given it further time so they can talk to the neighbors, come up with a resolution. Basically, it's maybe a kind of an amended agreement, but it's for the same purpose. So I think further time is a much more logical situation than leave to withdraw.
I just wonder how substantially different it's gonna be if they cross the street with it. Now you're dealing with a different property in a different situation.
Oh, we can call an audible then,
Right,
if we have to.
right.
And the one
Councilor Romero.
I would like to, just commenting on it, I am agreement with Councilor Cormier and Ardinger and Bonanza as well, in giving at least a little further time, because they've already engaged in the process of having the conversation and trying to come up with a solution. It's just a matter of, I think, hearing back from one resident, is my recollection. So, granting it some further time, and then certainly at perhaps maybe even the next meeting or the next time this issue comes back up, making a determination at that point. I see it as, being on the agenda for the first time. It looks like in December 8th, which doesn't seem like a too significant, of amount of time. So I'm also kind of leaning on the side of giving this particular petition a little more time.
Okay, that seems to be the consensus.
Sure.
Madam Chair?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Yes, and that's sort of what I was leaning towards as well. And a point of clarification, I definitely wasn't asking Counselor at Large Robbins to make the decision. Just being on the committee, I was trying to get some input there. But being newer to a committee, I do appreciate all the counselors' input. And I think that at this point, I would recommend further time. I would push it out. National Grid had asked that we push it out 1 month because he did not feel that they would hear back from, the resident within 1 week. So I'm inclined to, I can see, did you want to?
Madam President?
March 9th?
I just have one bit of a procedural question. The
You're
hearing.
gonna go, you already did the subcommittee meeting?
And no, the
Yeah.
hearing was closed.
Correct. But Madam President, I would say that although the hearing was closed, no one came and had anything to say at this point. It does feel like it's like a logistical issue, so.
No,
You
it's
can't
bigger than that, because
reopen.
if it goes across the street, you might have different people that wanna come and speak to it.
Sure, okay,
So now you have a different issue.
okay.
It's my understanding that they're looking at it going across the street anyway, aren't they? 'Cause that's
Not,
where
they
the
weren't
tree is.
initially, I don't believe.
Okay,
Um,
I could be wrong, I'm sorry.
Okay.
My question was just more procedurally,
Yes.
how do we
Right.
give it further
Correct.
time if we've closed the
Well, I
public
was
hearing?
gonna go to the procedure as well, because your subcommittee meeting,
Yes.
Right.
you voted to grant it, I believe.
Well, what we voted, I believe, Madam President, was if everyone was in agreement, we were going to grant it, but if someone was to come forth during the public hearing, we were going to give it more time.
What did you vote on then? I thought you voted on granting it.
Granting with the stipulation.
Yes, with the
Oh, okay.
stipulation.
Yeah,
Yes.
that
All right.
there
Okay,
be agreement amongst the neighbors and
Okay.
National
Yes.
Grid.
all right.
So, Madam President, how do we, I guess, I would ask, I'm not sure how to proceed procedurally, being new to this role.
Well, I think, again, it depends, right? So if it comes back in the same vein, close enough to the original petition,
Right,
Right.
then I don't think you need a public hearing.
okay.
If it comes back different, then we gotta start over.
Yeah.
So-
At that point,
At
we
that
have to
point.
start over. Right now, we can give it further time.
Sure.
For the 2 month, go to March 9th, is that what we're looking at? March 9th, and then if it comes out substantially different, and we will rely on National Grid to contact the clerk if you have a resolution prior to that, so we have some information to that. Okay.
Thank you,
So,
Madam President,
the
and
re-
all the other counselors for that assistance.
The recommendation of the committee is for further time.
Correct.
Are there any other questions or comments? If not, all those in favor signify in the usual manner. Those opposed? Okay, further time is granted by a vote of 7-0. Okay, new business. Is there any new business to come before us? Councilor Robbins?
I just have one thing, Madam President. I'm looking to schedule a public schools subcommittee meeting, and I know this is a little bit far out, but I'm looking at the 19th of March at 5:30. Just want to see if that works for the committee members. I was hoping to have Left Field, which is the OPM for the Fallbrook School project, come down and speak about the project. We have 2 new counselors who weren't here the last time they came, so I'm going to have them come and give a presentation, and then hopefully have them come a little more regularly to keep the council updated on what's going on with the Fallbrook project.
That's an off night on a Thursday?
It's an off night, yeah.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to kind of get it out early.
Anybody have a problem with that night?
Counselor Robin, can I just get the date again? I'm sorry.
March 19th at 5:30. And Liz, I'll be in contact about agenda.
You got it.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
Welcome.
Madam
Any
President,
other
can I also?
business?
can I
Councilor
just-
Romero?
Can I also just ask a question relative to C-45? I don't know if it's possible to submit a request at this point, or just go back and address it. It's the appointment of Mr. Souza related to the interview. I know that that was the recommendation by the chair. I would like to know if it would be okay if we're able to submit questions for Mr. Souza prior to that interview, that I'd like to have him address or discuss, if possible. Is that a possibility?
Well, I think you're looking to have him come in, correct?
Right.
Okay.
But if,
So you'll be able to ask him the question.
Right, what I was asking is, could I submit a list of questions to him in advance of the interview? Written questions so that he can see and
Yeah,
maybe
well,
be prepared in terms of,
You-
some
you
questions
could-
that I'd like answered.
Right, so you could submit it to the clerk or to the chair of the committee.
Right, I just didn't know, that's
Well-
acceptable?
yeah,
Yep.
both of us, and she'll get them.
Okay, very good,
Thank you.
thank you.
Any other new business questions? Any old business? If not, any community calendar statements to make? If not,
Motion to
now
adjourn.
quickly, Councilor Bedanza I was looking at first, so, the motion to adjourn, is there a second? Councilor Nosworthy? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
The more that I thought about it, when you start looking at procedural